Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Andrew Price, and today we're going to be talking about servers. Ooh, fanfare. Fanfare, I guess, follows. Well, as you can probably tell, we're in a different world today, but yet the hills are alive with the sound of Minecraft. Sorry, had to do it. Anyways, we are in a different server than the one in the last video. Well, technically we're on the same server, we're just on a different setup. And the reason for that, and the reason for the delay in this video was because we ran into some issues with running Feed the Beast Ultimate Pack. More specifically, there were some issues with some of the mods that were causing problems and causing the server to crash. And so after evaluating kind of what was causing those problems, we decided to go with our own custom mod pack that is more I guess is better suited for our particular server hardware. I don't know if you guys, well, I assume you guys kind of watch some of the Minecraft guys, but I know like even Minecraft guys have had issues with Feed the Beast lag and things like that. And to be honest, we didn't want to have to worry about the people on the server having to, I guess, turn things on and off all the time and stuff like that. So we just made some small changes to some of the different mod packs and removed a few, updated a few, etc., etc., so that we could get a little bit better performance. So that's mainly the reason that I haven't posted this follow-up video any more quickly than or as quickly as I had originally planned, because I just didn't want to give you what I consider to be a half-ass kind of how-to video. I wanted to make sure whatever I told you guys worked, you know, basically as advertised. That way none of you, you know, committed money or time into setting up something that wouldn't work the way that you wanted it to. Now, like I said, I will probably be doing a part 3 of this series that will kind of go through some of the changes that we made. And I might even post the mod pack that I came up with, just so that if you do want to do this kind of setup, you can. Now, as you can probably tell, we do have most of the Feed the Beast stuff, like with the micro blocks and all the different machines and etc., etc. It's really more with some of the kind of mod packs that are still in development, we're causing some serious issues. One, for example, was the power suits. They're adding in a new recipe to make them more like the Quantum GregTech armor, but it was not, I don't think that you can set it as default, and you also can't set the maximum, what's the word? The maximum velocity on a user using the power suits. Which actually became a huge problem, because you can fly in those things so fast that even on, like, you know, dedicated hardware, it just can't keep up with it. It can't load the chunks fast enough. And because it's so cheap, everyone had it. And so we kept running into issues with people flying all over. And also, there were some people that just didn't like that you got the ultimate armor within, you know, in the game within, like, the first 2 days. It just didn't really give you much to work towards in that area. And I don't know, with us, we have a few people that love, you know, like most guys like gadgets. Well, they love gadgets. So, like, you know, they will end up just playing around with those things instead of actually building anything, if you give them all the gadgets right away. So we took those out, and we also adjusted some things. And the reason that we took them out is because you can't adjust the maximum velocity on it very easily. It's kind of quirky how the config files work. It is something that you can adjust, but then you have to adjust weight, and you don't really have a good idea for the for all of the I guess, how everything affects one another, and it just became more of a bother than it was worth, because, I mean, there's already the quantum suit armor in the game, so we just were like, you know, we're going to take that out for right now, just so we don't have to deal with it. But right now, as you can see, we are on our Feed the Beast server, running our new custom mod pack. And like I said, I will provide you with more details on the changes that we made, and possibly even provide you with the mod pack itself in the event that you want to try it out. And I'll try to go through some of the changes that we made and why they were made more specifically. So that, you know, if you want to try to, you know, customize it yourself or whatever, you can go through that process as well. Anyways, before I get, like, more sidetracked talking about mod packs and stuff, man, I've spent way too much time on this stuff as of late. That's why my base right now is kind of underdeveloped a little bit. Just a wee bit. But anyways, yeah, so for today, what we're going to be doing is going through a basic server guide. Now, I'm going to go through the process on a vanilla setup. However, there isn't really a huge difference between setting up a vanilla or a Feed the Beast server. However, I just didn't want to go into... Oh, crap. Oh, crap. Crap. Ah. This is what I get for working at night. Oh, this is going to be bad. Okay. Ah, crap. Alright. Anyways, I'm going to go run inside before I do any more damage. I've got, like I said, I don't have much going on in here. I've just been recently setting it up so that I can start converting stuff to biomass, so that I can then, you know, set my primary power setup. Although I'm going to go with a completely different setup this time, I think. I have an idea that I want to try out. I'll obviously have to keep you posted on that for the future. Ah, darn it, I can't believe I did that. Oh, bah humbug. I'll need, when I get back in here, I'll need dirt. And I'll need gravel. Alright, anyways. So, I guess before I blow up anything else in here that happens to be valuable, although I don't have that much, let me go ahead and I will cut this right now, and we can go ahead and get into the server startup. So I will do that, and then I will see you guys in a few minutes. Alright, so before we get started today, we need to go over some basic things about this particular setup. Now, as I mentioned before, we decided to go with Uplink. You can go with whoever you want. Obviously, Uplink is going to have their own proprietary front end, but most of them should be pretty much similar in how they do setups. So while I may not have the exact layout for the server setup that they, like another company might have, you can use whoever you want. You're just going to have to obviously put in the data in a little bit different order or something like that. Hopefully I will have provided you with enough information so that you can do that regardless of what provider you happen to choose. Also, I wanted to go ahead and give some credit to some people that were instrumental in my own setup, and that will probably be useful for you guys. One is a guy by the name of SuperJamie, who wrote the initial init script, Minecraft service script that I based mine on. In fact, a lot they're very, very similar. I just added in some extra functionality and made it so with this one you can see that it's specific to Craft Bucket. I made it so that you can change it around for vanilla Craft Bucket or for Feed the Beast. Also, there is a guy by the name of Johnny McCullough, and he did a Minecraft server on CentOS 6 guide. Now, I use a very different method than he does, but he does provide some information on how to set this type of thing up. And I did kind of use it as a starting point. It was very instrumental in me coming up with a list of instructions for you guys. So I want to give him some credit. I will provide links to both of these people in the description below, so you can check that out. And before we get started, you're going to have to download 2 pieces of software. One is going to have to be a FTP or SCP client or SFTP. This is WinSCP is the one that I use, so I'd recommend, if you're not that familiar with one or the other, go ahead and use this one because it will be easier for you to go step by step. However, if you have a personal preference, it doesn't really matter. And obviously, given that this is WinSCP, it is specific to Windows. However, there are lots of these types of clients. FileZilla comes to mind. There's one for Firefox that I think is called FireZilla even. And you can use those. You can use the installation packages or the portable executables if you are in Windows, and this is what I am in fact using in this video. The other one that you'll need to use is called PuTTY, and PuTTY is a Telnet and SSH client. You can either use just the putty.exe and put it wherever you want, or there is an installer for Windows. If you are in a Mac system, again, there are lots of options. Just search for SSH client, Mac OS X, and you should find plenty. In fact, because Mac OS X is based on a Linux system, you can probably use some of the built-in terminal abilities to do that. But I'm not sure quite how to do that off the top of my head because, again, I don't use Mac. It's just not my preferred operating system. Also, before you get started, you'll need to download either a Minecraft or Feed the Beast server, or Bukkit, if you decide to go that way. Now, this particular guide is going to be specific to a vanilla setup. However, there is not much difference between vanilla and Feed the Beast. I just decided to do this because we were having initially some issues with Feed the Beast, and so I just want to do a general setup guide that will work for about any of the different distributions or options in terms of Minecraft, and the overall installation is pretty much the same. For the Minecraft one, you'll just go to download, and then you'll see Minecraft server.jar, and you can just download that. And for Feed the Beast, you can just go to download, download server, and then it will let you pick whichever mod pack you want to install. Obviously, whichever mod pack you install, you're going to need to get the appropriate client that corresponds with that. I will say I did have some issues with the Minecraft pack for some reason with the base install. I don't know if they've fixed it since then, but if you run into some issues, do know that I had those issues as well, so you're not the only one. But I think most of you will either go for like Feed the Beast Ultimate or Feed the Beast Lite or something like that. Just wanted to mention that in case you did run into issues. Also listed below are some entries that I think you should find interesting if you do run into any problems or if you want to customize this further. One is the Wikipedia entry for cron. Cron is what we use to essentially control scheduled tasks in Linux. I think it's short for Chronos, which is, I think, the Latin word for time. I could be way off on that, but I think that's correct. But regardless, you'll see as we go through, we do adjust the cron. We're going to install some cron entries, and I will try to explain this somewhat, but if you need further clarification, it will be provided in here for you. Also, I'm going to include a link to the Minecraft wiki, which does have an installation guide. It is very different from mine. In fact, I think it's slightly out of date. But if you are looking for some clarification, or if you don't know how to do something, they give you some basic stuff like the cron tab stuff and all of that, and it's pretty well documented, so it might be a good resource for you as well. And finally, because when we are doing things in cron, we will need to use the VI editor, which is not something that a lot of people are used to. I have provided links to the VI, a VI basically cheat sheet for different commands, and it'll explain if you're trying to do something or if you screw something up, or if I don't make something clear, you can figure it out, hopefully by looking at this. So that's really all that we need to preface this with, and so without further ado, let's get started. Alright, welcome back, and now we are currently logged into OpLink's little control panel. It is a very simplified control panel, very easy to work with. It doesn't allow you the most options, but really that's fine, because right now we're going for simplicity and ease of use. So as you can see, we've already got 50 gigabytes taken up by our Feed the Beast server, as well as 3 gigabytes of our RAM. And we are in our main dashboard, but for you it'll just show up with these being completely empty. And we're going to go ahead and create a new virtual machine by clicking on the button in the upper right. Now, for the server, we're going to give it a label. And what we're going to label it is Bartown Vanilla. Now, I didn't cover this earlier, but this is just going to be a vanilla server setup. I will cover our Feed the Beast setup later. We ran into some issues with our initial Feed the Beast setup, and so I wanted to get all of the data kind of, I guess all of my suggestions kind of unified within that particular setup. And so I wanted to do this as a separate video, just going through the setup. Essentially, they're about the same. You're just going to copy over different files. The config files and everything work with both. I will just go through that setup differently, but I wanted to go ahead and show you how to do this setup, since this one I knew would work without issue. Now, we're not going to put anything into host name right now. We're going to just do everything else. Now, for the password on this, we're just going to do test1234 red, just because it's a basic password. Now, if you were to use, you know, worried about security or something like that, I would suggest you use something differently. Like, for example, this is one that I just came up with, which I actually do not use for any things, so don't worry, I'm not giving away my personal details. But as you can see, it's basically my name reversed, where I've capitalized certain characters and replaced, you know, E's with 3's and A's with 4's, and the I and price with 1. So, you know, you can do something like this. I would suggest feeding in some random data if people do know your name, but for the purposes of this, we're just going to be using test1234 red. Now, for the operating system, we're going to choose Linux. The distribution, we're going to select RHEL, which is Red Hat Enterprise Linux. And for the operating system, we're going to do 6.3 x64 version of CentOS. For the RAM, as you know, as you saw earlier, we only have 1 gig of RAM free, so that makes that easy. For the CPU cores, we only have 2 free, so that makes that easy. For the priority, we're going to go ahead and we'll leave this at 1% now. We can adjust this up if we want to later, but we can do that once we have it set up, so it's not a big deal. If you're just running one server, set it to like 50% probably, and it'll be fine. For our primary disk, we have a total of 30 gigs free. We're going to be using 2 gigs for our swap file, which is basically like temporary storage. And so for this, we're going to put it at 28 gigabytes because that will use up all of our 30 gigs. And for the network zone, we're going to use internet. And for the port speed, we're going to select 1 megabits per second. So we're going to go ahead and create our virtual machine. But before we do that, we have to go fill in the host name. Now, the host name is your domain. So it's like, you know, facebook.com, whatever. And basically how the internet works is for everything there is an address, just like in the mail system, for everything there's an address. But like with the White House, we know it is the White House. Now, it does have a famous address, 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue. But most people, you know, when they're referring to the White House, they don't say 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue. They say the White House. And it's the same here. And essentially what we're going to need is some sort of domain name. Now, you may be thinking, oh, crap, I don't have a domain name. I've already spent money for the server. How do I set this up, etc., etc.? Well, for the domain name, there's an easy solution for this. And we can use something called Dynamic DNS. And there's a couple of different sites that allow you to do this for free. And we can, there's DNS dynamic, and then free DNS through afraid.org. And we're going to, for the purposes of this, we're going to use DNS dynamic. If you go to their main page, they will have a sign-up sheet, and when you click sign up and give them your email address, they do not send you spam or anything, I don't believe. But they will send you a link which will take you to this page, and then we can go and we can add a new domain. Now, there are a number of different domains that we can choose from, and for the purposes of this, we will choose... Which one should we choose? I'd prefer .com. ddns01.com. And for this, we will choose tutorial MC server, and we will click on check availability. Now, assuming that this domain is available, it'll then bring you to this next screen where it'll have your IP address up here, which I have blurred because I do not want any miscreants having my IP address for obvious reasons. And it'll put it in here. But we don't really care about that right now. What we're going to do is we're going to copy this domain. Copy. Thank you. And then we're going to go paste it in here. So there we have our domain. That will satisfy that requirement. And then we will go and click on create a virtual machine. And it will... your virtual machine has been created successfully and the build has been queued. So now it's going to actually build our server. But while it's doing that, you can see that we're going to have an IP address right here. Well, you can't see it. I can see it. And then we're going to go ahead and copy that IP address over here. Which I will now do while blurring your vision so that you can't see what it is. Although I doubt we'll actually use this IP. But then you'll just click add, and you can see I've got two IPs. And if I want to delete like this one here that I created earlier, I can just click delete, done, and then it'll just have tutorial MC server .ddns01.com. Now this is not the shortest domain name that you could have. This is just for demonstration, obviously, so that's why I picked that one. So now you'll see that the system is now finished setting up and is ready to go. So hey, that wasn't too difficult. Now before we go and actually get into having some fun with the system, we needed to change one thing, and that is the firewall. And this is basically, the firewall is a safety mechanism that keeps other people from accessing the server in a way that we don't want. But we want people to access a particular port for Minecraft. Now, you can specify the port to whatever you want, but the default one is 25565, I do believe. And that will be with the TCP protocol. And for the source address, you just put 0.0.0.0/0. That basically says that it can be any port. And so we're going to click save. And you can see it's been added to our list. And we can apply firewall rules. And once that's done, it'll say an update of firewall rules has been queued. And it will go about doing that. So not a big deal. And you can see here, it'll say that it's actually completed the update of the firewall rules. So very, very simple setup right there. So really now we are done. Our server is set up. So now all we have to do, the easy part, right, is to set up the Minecraft server. So in the next part, we will be doing that. So let me get the programs up that we need, and we will get started. Alright guys, so here we go. We've got all of the files that we need to get this thing started. Here's the Minecraft file that is going to be our config file or our service file. We have the Minecraft server.jar. This is the vanilla server. However, if you want to use the Feed the Beast or anything else, you obviously need to download those files separately. We have putty.exe. And we also have WinSCP. Now, for WinSCP, I'm using the portable version because I actually have it locally installed and I don't want them interfering. So we're just going to extract it here. And I'm using 7-zip to do this. And so we have WinSCP, which you can launch by clicking on that. I'm going to have to hide this data because, yeah, that's a lot of people's IP addresses. I was hoping it wouldn't pull that up, but apparently it does store those. But whatever. So, the first thing we're going to need to do is log in via PuTTY, and you click on putty.exe to do that, and it's going to ask for a hostname or IP address. Now, again, this is, as you can see, whoops, not there, that I copied the data from when we set up our hostname, and you can either use the IP address or the hostname. I'm going to try the IP address. No. Thank you. I'm going to try to use the hostname because then I can just delete this and I don't have to worry about it compromising our data. And you're going to choose SSH and then port 22. And you can actually save this as like test or whatever. And you can see when we click on that, it'll have that data. We're going to hit OK and open. And it's going to say security alert, da 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 da. This is basically because we've never logged into it before. And you're going to say, all right. And now we're going to log in as root. And so we're going to type in root. And the root's password is that test 1234 red. And you're going to get presented with this terminal. And this terminal is what we're going to be using most of the time for controlling the server. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to need to install the appropriate software that we need to run the server. And we can simply do that by going to our commands list, which I'm going to provide as a file again down below. And what we're going to do is we're going to do yum install Java 1.7 and screen, because it runs now. Real quickly, because some of you may not be familiar with Linux, you can right click and copy, and in Linux to paste, because you can't hit Control V, you simply you're going to right click. So if I right click, it just keeps pasting it, and we can hit I'll just delete it all out. A lot of the normal commands you're not used to, or that you're used to in Windows, do not work. But we're going to do this, and it's going to say, okay, let me build a database. And basically all this is it's kind of like Windows updates. They have a very specific way for installing software, and yum is the particular thing that we use to do that. And so we're going to it's going to take it a second because it's got to build its primary database, because this is the first time that it's done this. Once you do this, it is actually a lot faster. But it's going to go through all this mess of loading in all the different databases. Basically, it's going to see what different files are available that match our particular search. And it'll automatically build all the dependencies. See, you can, as I motion with my finger, finishing dependency resolution. It'll automatically do everything. It'll be 104 megs. Total download size is 30 megs. Do we want to do this? Yes, we do want to do that. And then it'll just go through the process of updating and installing all of these things that we need to be able to run the Minecraft server. This will take a few minutes, and I'll probably fast forward through some of this as it does it. But it is a very simple way of basically setting up everything. And you can just go and make some coffee or something while this happens. Now, for the WinSCP stuff, while this is going on, we can go ahead and do that. And what we're going to do is we're going to right-click on the right, and we're going to create new. And we're going to use SFTP. And the host name will once again be the one that we entered in over here. So tutorial mcserver.ddns01.com, and we can put that in, and then we can put in root for our username, and we will again put in test 1234 red or whatever password. Do not use the same. Do not use this test 1234 password. It's just a bad idea. It's not a good password. I'm just doing this for demonstration purposes. Please do something more secure than test 1234 red. So save session as root. Save password. You can do this if you want. It doesn't recommend it, but whatever. And then it'll show up on your list, and then you can just click log in. And connect, searching for host, connecting to host. And hopefully this will log us in straight away, unless I have screwed something up in my setup file somewhere. Let us see. Do 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 do. And again, it'll complain about the security, but that's fine because, like I said before, it's first time connecting. So you'll just say yes, add a host key to our file. Basically, that way it won't pop up with that every time. It'll authenticate, which is basically sending the password. The reason this is taking a few more seconds is because it is downloading stuff in the background, and then also I'm doing a lot of stuff on this computer, so that is why it's taking a second. Normally it is much faster than this. And if you get this, again, it's because it's being slow. Just don't hit abort. Just let it do its thing. It's going to take it a couple of minutes. It's just how it works. So give it a few minutes, and it should be fine. And there we go. We have in our root access, and this is in fact our file system. This is where everything is going to go. And this is when you're doing stuff on the system, this is just like a normal Windows thing. In fact, you can drag and drop from a window into here. There we go. And so, yeah, this just basically gives you access to the file system. These are continuing to install. So we should be good for the time being. 26 to 27, okay. And while this is doing that, we're going to go ahead and go to etc. or etc. I don't think it's actually short for etc., but whatever. And then we're going to go to init-d, or .d, not dash. And we're going to open that up. And you're going to see all this stuff in here. That's fine. Don't worry about it. All we're going to do is we're going to go back to our downloads directory that we were in earlier. And we're going to copy over our Minecraft file. This is our service that we're going to be running. And it's going to copy just like that. And you can see now it's in the list. So that's great. We are good to go. There. And you can just minimize this because we're done with it for right now. So now we've installed all of our... all the software that we need for this to run. And we're going to go to back to our command list. And we're going to then go to this one here. And in fact, I will reorder this so that it should work fine. So we did this first, and we're going to do that. All right. Yay. And again, we're just going to copy this and then paste it into this window. And all of this is doing is it's making it active and executable. Don't worry about it. Just copy, paste it in. It's fine. Not a big deal. Now, then we're going to add a group called MC Server. This is going to be the group that our basically for security reasons, what we want is we want to make sure that everyone, that root is not running everything, because that is bad. So we're going to create a new user called MC user, and he's going to belong to the group, or he or she. It is not actual, does not actually matter. And we're going to copy this user, add to group MC server, and the user will be named MC user. All right. And then we're going to set the password for MC user, and you can set this to whatever you want. I'm not going to set one for right now, but if you want to set a password, I would suggest it. You can just use password MC user, and then if you want to check and make sure that everything is set up properly, we can do ID MC user, and you can see we have MC user, and then the group is MC server. So all that is set up properly. Yippee skippy. Now let's go to our next thing. We'll actually be copying over the files for the server. So what we want to do is we want to go to home, and you'll see that now MC user has his own directory. He or she, whatever, it has its own directory. And we're going to create a folder called vanilla. And by the way, Linux is case sensitive, so if it's capital V, it makes a difference. So make sure that you keep track of that. But we're going to create a folder called vanilla. And within the vanilla folder, we're then going to go and drag and drop our Minecraft _server.jar. It'll take it a couple of seconds to copy, but overall it's pretty fast. All right. And then we also want to create a couple of other directories. And this is specifically for our config file here. And I'll go into this in a second. I've got everything set up, but you can see, like, for the backup path, we have home/mcuser/vanilla/backups. So for that to work, we need a backups folder. So let's create a directory, and we want to call it backups. And again, lowercase. There we go. And do we need anything else? If you want to set up actually, we want that set up like this. If you want to set up it so that it does email, it is more complex, and I may do a separate how-to thing. Basically, this uses Mutt. If you do not know what Mutt is, it's a email client for Linux. But basically, this is just something that we installed for ours. You do not have to use it. In fact, it's turned off by default. Basically, that's for any of the more advanced Linux users out there that might be looking at this or that are familiar with Linux. It is pretty easy to do. And what we're going to do for the first time, we're going to actually go and we'll run the server manually. And how we're going to do that is we're going to take this right here. And if you're not familiar with Linux, you probably aren't also familiar with navigating in Linux, and it's a little bit different. So to see what is in a directory, we hit ls, which is short for list. And you can see nothing's in this directory. So we can go cd ... Now, cd is short for change directory, and dot is the current directory, ... is to go up a directory. So we go cd ... to keep going up, and when you see the slash right there, that means you're in the root directory. So now if we hit ls, you'll see all of this stuff, and this corresponds with what you see right here. You know, var, user, whatever. But what we're trying to get to is vanilla. So let's go to cd, which is in the home directory. So we'll go cd home, ls, cd emc user, ls, cd vanilla, ls, and there's our Minecraft server.jar. And what we want to do is right click and paste that in, which is basically to tell it to run with, you know, this is a very basic startup. We just want it to run the first time. And you're going to see some of these issues, like warning, failed to load operators list, whitelist, whatever. That's fine. That's the reason that we ran this, is to create all of these particular things. And if we go back up here and we hit refresh, you can see that it is generated all of those for us. And in fact, if we want to, we can right click and edit these. And this is where you can put like the message of the day. You can change all of your things, including the server port. This is where we get that earlier when I was saying about the firewall, this is where we get that number from. It's the default port. And basically what you want to do is, if you want to change this to a different port, you need to change it in here. And then you also need to change it in the firewall so that it reflects whatever's in here. You can also set your whitelist up here and all of those types of things. But those things are pretty easy, so we're not going to go through them. Oh. Blame the controller. Well, I have to go. I will be back in a few. Bye. Alright guys, welcome back. Sorry about that. I had been meaning to play Dota 2 with Blame the Controller for a few days, and he messaged me, and unfortunately I wasn't fast enough getting in, but I had to cut the video abruptly for that. Regardless, we're almost done. If you believe it or not, we are almost done. But before we move any further, I kind of wanted to go through our service file and detail some of the different things that we're going to be setting up in here. So the server name is going to be Minecraft. You could change this to whatever you want. It does not really matter. It's just for our own purposes. The server type you need to fill in as vanilla, bukkit, or feed the beast. And where that comes into play is down here. It actually will allow you to change certain variables. It also allows you to change the like for the server updates, so that if you want to update the jar file. Now, update does not work with Feed the Beast, because Feed the Beast uses, like, you have to update every file in there, and I don't have that programmed into here right now. So if you do Feed the Beast, you'll need to do the updates manually, and that's simply by copying over the new files into your current directory. It will not overwrite your world file. Although do check the server properties. I've had it before where they changed what the default file name was in the server properties, and it can cause issues. That will be server properties, open, select program, where are you, Notepad++? You're not in here, great. And I'm going to have to go program files x86. Sorry, I should have done this off camera, but I realized halfway through, it's like, oh yeah, I should probably mention that, shouldn't I? But yeah, if you ever have an issue after doing an update, you will want to check the level seed is Mr. Barty. That's humorous. I didn't actually notice that before. And this IP, by the way, is no longer valid, so I'm not worried about showing that. But let us see. Where is the world name? Oh, there we go. Level name world. Sometimes they will change this. If it does get changed, just change it back to world, and it'll pick up your world file again. I'm going to actually have to adjust some of these. I didn't realize they had hard-coded in the old IP address, because we are updating the vanilla server as well. But anyways, so basically, depending on the type of server that you're running, you need to set that up here, because that'll enable a few different options and stuff like that. Make sure whatever name you put in there is all caps. I could do a transform for that, but I'm not worried about it. The mem count. Mem count is how much memory we want this to use. Right now it's 768. I'll probably up this later, but just basically set it a little bit below the however much memory you set for the server. Where backups go, we've already covered this. If you use a different directory than the ones that I showed, you will need to change this accordingly. Backup days is equal to 3. That's how many days we want to keep backups. This is important because it will essentially, obviously you want as many backups as possible, but after a certain number of days, it will cause problems because it'll basically fill up the server. So I have it set at 3. The file sizes can get rather large, so, you know, set that to 5 or 7. I wouldn't go any longer than that. For the screen name is not like your screen name. It's actually the screen session, and I will show you that in a second. Just leave this as MC server for right now. Email backups, unless you want to go through setting that up, set this to false, and then you won't have to worry about any of this other stuff. And for visual VM enable, set that to false as well for right now. I will go through this in a little bit as well, because this is visual VM is basically a remote tool that you can use to essentially monitor the server and see what is actually causing lag. So it is a very useful tool, but it takes a little bit more setup. And this is the visual VM port. If you want to set that up, you can do it as well. I'm just not going to go through it on this video. All of these things are set up at the top of the file, and it automatically detects if you're Ubuntu or Fedora or CentOS, and you know, it's just a very long file of different functions. But all of these things should be good at startup. I would just really the big thing that you need to do is the mem count. Oh yeah, and the CPU count. However many processors you gave the server at start, set it to this. I have it set at 2 because this will be our vanilla server, and vanilla is not very hardware intensive. I may need to adjust this later, but just probably leave it at 2 at first, see how it runs, and then increase it if need be. Same thing goes with the memory. Just set it you know, relatively low at first. For vanilla servers, you should be fine. Obviously, for Feed the Beast, you're going to need more. There is a lot of stuff in here that probably needs to be redone a little bit, but it works for now, so let us not worry about it too much. I will probably post updates on this as we go along. All right. So with that out of the way, now we can actually finish up setting up the server. By the way, if since you've already copied this over, what you can do is you can go to the WinSCP where you've logged in, and you can go to init.d, and where you copied the Minecraft folder. So it's root etc init.d, and then we can go and we can actually right click and edit it here, so you don't have to like edit it in one place and then copy it over. So pretty easy to do. So we will close that. Also, I'd note, because there was a break from when I was recording and all of that, I did notice that I screwed up. And if you want to go and, if you accidentally set this to 50 megabits per second, or 1 megabit per second, like I did in the video, you can go to adjust resource allocation. And like see here is our CPU course, just like we did at setup. You can also go to networking, and you'll see the port speed, and then you can click on this little pencil and you can adjust this to whatever preferences you want, hit save, and you're done. So alright, with that out of the way, let's finish setting up the server. Alright guys, we're almost done. We're in the home stretch, so let's finish out strong. So next thing that we need to do is we have to change the permissions on the folder that the Minecraft is installed to. So in this case, that is vanilla, or whatever you named it. But you will see that it is currently owned by root, and the group is root. Now, this is because we copied this in and we ran the initial install as root. However, this is going to be an issue since we want MC user to actually change these files. So what we want to do is go to Properties, and we will go and change the this to MC User and the group to MC User, and we want to set it to set group and owner permissions recursively. This means that it'll do it to every folder underneath the one that we have selected. So we want to hit OK, and now it's going to go about doing that. It will take a couple of seconds. This is actually going to take longer because I actually have our world installed now on this one. It doesn't really make a difference. I just copied this over because, well, it saves me time on setting up a server later, and I can just change the password and a few other variables and make sure that it's all nice and secure. By the way, I have gone through this install 2 or 3 times now because I ran into an issue which actually happened to be with my service script. So I had, so that I wouldn't screw you guys up any, I've gone ahead and redid another install, and then I had an issue with the drive size, so then I had to do another install. But basically, I've done this about 2 or 3 times, and just using the commands that we have in our list, and it works pretty well. I'm actually very, very pleased. So we're going to go let it do this. And we're almost ready to start everything up. Let's see. Where are Minecraft command lists? Alright. So, we actually can remove this because I actually changed the config, so that's no longer necessary. And I'm going to add in a new entry for this next command we're going to do. And it's going to be service Minecraft, because that's the name of our service, and we're going to say start. So this is actually how we start the server once all of this is changed over, which it is now. And let's go and try it and see if it works. This is the issue with doing things live. But service Minecraft start. Server type is set to vanilla. Checking to see if Minecraft is... yep, it's got the right jar file. That's actually the issue that I was having. Okay, Minecraft is now running. Yay! So it worked. So now everything is running the way we want it to. And we can check this by doing something called MC User. So this is going to log us in as MC User in this terminal, and you're going to see that now we're logged in as MC User as opposed to root, and now we're going to type in screen -R, if I can find, that's the right key, -R, and it will be MC Server, I do believe. And where we're getting this MC Server from is in our server in our Minecraft config file. You'll see at the top, where is it? MC Server, the name of the screen session. So we're actually going to be going into the screen session for this, and we will do that. If you get an error, hit Control+C, and that will cancel it. When I copied this over, I actually left the... where is it? Server properties. Edit. I left it with the old IP in. So that's what it's actually complaining about. So we'll hit Control+S to save. If you just did a brand new install, you won't have to worry about this. If you are copying over something and it does have it installed, we can't. You can just tell that because it was. Oh, I closed the screen, but it just said that it couldn't bind to the port, the port that we had specified. So now to log out as MC User, we need to go exit, And now you'll see we're back as root. And now we can, the cool thing about Linux when it comes to commands is you can use the up and down arrow keys and it'll scroll through the commands. So then we can do this again. It does check to see if the server's already running, but because I hit Control-C while I was in the screen, that killed the session. So we don't have to worry about that. And our server's now running, PID 1277. And let's scroll up to SUMC user and screen MC server. And there we go. It is all running all nice and neatly. And what we can do now, actually, just for fun, show desktop, is we can actually launch Minecraft. Go, Minecraft, go. And we can actually see if we can log in. So you can see that the Bartown Vanilla server is, or Vanilla Test server, is now up and running, 032. And we can actually go through resize. Come on. It does not like me doing this when it's... Oh, come on. Grab on the corner. There we go. And now we can go in and log in. And you can see that our server is up and running just the way it's supposed to be. So we have a live Minecraft server. Woohoo! Alright. Now you may think that you're done because you got everything working. But, woo, look. We have Bartown. But you're not quite done yet. We need to do a couple more things. So let's quit the game and let's go back to our command list, and I will save this. So now that we know that this works, we can go ahead and set up a few things. Now, to end a screen session, and I will actually pull down the window. You can see at the top of this Java, or of this window, that it says screen 0. So that means that we're currently in a screen. Now, if I hit Control-C to get out of this, it'll actually close the server. So we do not want to do that. So what we're going to do is we're going to hit Control-A, I do believe. Or is it Control-P? No other windows. I will have to look this up because I don't remember. To be honest, what I always do is I just always just, if once I've seen the server log that everything is running appropriately, I will actually just close this. Yes, I want to close the session because when you close it, it doesn't terminate the screen. It just logs you out. And then I can just pull up PuTTY again and then load up tests. And then we can log in once again as root. I will look up the key for that. I forget what it is off the top of my head, just because I don't use that very much. So our password is test1234 red. There we go. So now our server is running properly. And we will go through and we want to do this command here. And what this is going to do is it actually, anytime the server reboots, like if you reboot it to change a setting or something, like, you know, I screwed up with the port speed. Well, for that to take effect, there has to be a reboot. And so we do that, and that will automatically turn on Minecraft, the Minecraft service, whenever we are whenever the server starts up. And now, our last thing is going to be crontab. Now, this can seem very daunting, but it's really not that bad. And what we want to do is we just want to type in crontab-e. This will allow us to edit the cron file. And as you can see, it's blank because there's nothing in there. And this is VI. And VI is a text-based editor, so it's a little bit different. So to actually be able to type things in here, we have to hit Shift plus I, or capital I, and then you can see at the bottom here we're now in insert mode, and now we can type in 0, 4, star, 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 slash, etc. init.d slash Minecraft, and then backup. And what this is going to do is every day at 4 a.m. it's going to do a backup. The reason I'm only doing this at 4 a.m. is because our world is relatively large and we only have 30 gigs on that drive, so I don't want to have a large number of backups laying around. But if we want to do it like 4 times a day, all we'd have to do is star over 4, and that basically, how this works is, this is minutes, so it will run it at 0 minutes at 4 a.m. any day, any week, any month. So that's what these stars stand for. But I only want it to do it at 4 a.m. and we will do 34. So this will run at 4:30, and star 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 slash etc slash init.d slash Minecraft, and this is where we copied our Minecraft service, and we're going to do log rotate, and this is just going to rotate our logs so that we can keep backups of our logs in case anything happens, so that we can see what happens. And 0, 5, no, not that one, thank you, star 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 slash etc init.d slash Mindercraft. Do double check your typing. Hopefully you will not be trying to do a tutorial while doing this. Remove old backups. And what this will do is it will, at 5 a.m. it'll automatically go through and check and remove our backups. Now, to save something in VI, you're going to hit escape, and you'll see that the insert is no longer there. And then we're going to hit shift and semicolon, so we're going to be getting a colon, and you'll see at the bottom we have a colon now, and we want to do WQ. And what this does is it will write the file and then quit. So WQ write quit, and we do that. And install a new cron tab. It says that because we didn't have a cron tab before because there was no data in it. So it just installed one for us. So now it should automatically do our backups for us. And that is about it. Now, real quickly, before I close, I guess finish this wonderful hour-long tutorial, which I seem to excel at. If you ever run into issues, like, so if you want to figure out what the commands are, you can do service Minecraft, and you will see that these are the commands that we have. So we can do service Minecraft console, and you will see that there's this issue here. Ignore that. That's when we do the screen. I actually need to probably change that. That will probably be a future update because I may have actually screwed that up. I didn't realize that's how he was doing that. But anyways, the screen method that I showed you works. But anyways, let's see. So, like, let's say if we wanted to service Minecraft stop. Now, it's going to say, checking the server, see if server is running, Minecraft is running, and it gives you the PID number, commencing shutdown, notifying users of shutdown. It actually tells the users in game. Same thing when it does a backup. It tells users in game that it's doing a backup. Basically, if there's any lag, you know why. It's because it's writing to a disk. Although we haven't really seen any on our server. Minecraft is shut down now. If you ever get a message where it says that it did not shut down, the thing to note is the PID. So it's PID, that's processor ID 1277. And if it didn't shut down, what we would do is we type kill 1277 and hit enter. And then we would type in top And this is, again, I showed this in the other video, but it shows us what's actually running right now. Now, obviously, it's the server is not running, but if it was, it would eventually show up here. So you just sit here for a second, and if you see that it's still running, even after you kill it, which means it's probably a hard error, at which point you probably want to go look at the console and see exactly what the issue is. But in the event that there was an issue, hit Control-C again, because that will break away from the top resource management, and then you can do kill -9 1277. And what kill -9 does is it basically says, stop whatever the server's doing right now, kill it. And it's unconditional. It will kill it regardless of what's happening. Try not to do that, because it could lead to some data corruption. But if you ever get into a situation where you cannot kill the server, the kill and the kill -9 are the two methods that you want to use. So yeah. So now we have a working Minecraft server. We can start it back up. I get so addicted to going up and down instead of having to type things in each time. And you can see that everything runs properly. And I've done it all on video, so hopefully, if you guys can figure out exactly how to do this just from watching this video. I've tried to go through everything about as well as I can. I know I didn't know the screen command to go back. I couldn't remember that off the top of my head, but you can still just close the window and it works just fine. But regardless, for the most part, I'm pretty happy with how this came out. Like I said, I've done this several times myself now, and I can do it in about 15 minutes, so hopefully you guys can do it in under an hour. I mean, this video is probably right at an hour, so I assume you shouldn't have any issues. And hopefully everything comes out working okay. Now, if you do run into issues, always check the console, get the exact error, see what the issue is. So again, SUMC user, and then screen-r MC server, and then you will see exactly what the console is going to read out. And that will give you a lot of detail in terms of what you can search for. Now, you can ask me, you can feel free to ask me questions, but obviously this, I'm not providing tech support here. This is supposed to be a guide and something to help you, but I kind of expect you, if you run into issues, for you to try to figure it out on your own, and if I can, I'll give you some assistance. But, in most cases, I'm not going to spend like hours trying to troubleshoot your issue, especially if it's something where you just typed in something wrong or you missed a step or something. So try to look for what the exact issue is and then search for it on Google. There's a lot of resources out there that can help you. I'm not a Linux guru by any stretch of the imagination. I'm pretty good with it, but I'm not amazing. So if I can figure it out, you should be able to figure it out. So anyways, that's our video for today. Hopefully it was entertaining, enjoyable, educational, etc., etc. Thank you for watching, and this is Andrew and Price telling you to have a good night and good gaming. Bye!